Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're diving into an incredible ancient story that gives us this timeless metaphor for dealing with something so many of us experience, anxiety. You know that feeling, right? That inner chaos, that turmoil that can just bubble up, even when, on the outside, everything looks perfectly fine. Well, that's exactly the feeling we're going to unpack today, and we'll do it by looking through the lens of a really powerful narrative. All right, so first up, the inner storm. We're going to start by trying to understand that feeling of being overwhelmed by anxiety, not as some clinical thing, but as a deeply, deeply human experience.
So what are we talking about here? In this context, anxiety is way more than just stress. It's that feeling of being tossed around by these huge waves you feel like you have no power over. The waves are made of worry, the wind is pure fear, and you're just trying to keep your head above water. It can be a really powerful and honestly a very isolating experience. And this is what that storm feels like on the inside. It's those overwhelming thoughts that just race and won't stop. It's those sudden waves of panic that feel like they come out of nowhere. You can feel totally lost, just adrift, and completely powerless against the chaos. All you want is to find some kind of safe harbor, just a quiet place to hide until it passes. I think a lot of us can probably relate to that.
Okay, so now let's pivot. We're going to turn from our inner, metaphorical storm to a story about a very real, very literal one. A sudden squall on the Sea of Galilee.
So picture this. The scene is pretty simple. You've got a teacher, Jesus, and his followers. Now, a bunch of these guys were experienced fishermen, so they're crossing a lake they know like the back of their hand. Everything seems totally routine, totally calm.
But here's where it all kicks off. The whole situation changes in a heartbeat. That calm sea suddenly erupts into a furious squall. And remember, these guys weren't rookies, they were seasoned sailors, but they are completely panicking as waves are crashing into the boat. And through all this chaos, all this terror, where's the teacher? He's asleep, just peacefully sleeping. The contrast there is absolutely staggering.
And this right here, this is the cry that comes from the very heart of the storm, isn't it? It's a question that's born from pure terror and desperation. Don't you care? It's that feeling of being abandoned, that plea for help when you are completely overwhelmed and you feel like nobody is listening. That is the voice of anxiety at its absolute peak.
Now that desperate plea, that's the turning point. We're now heading into the climax of the story, the calming of the storm. This is the moment where everything is about to shift from total chaos to this profound sense of peace. I mean, just imagine this scene. The boat is swamping with water, the wind is howling like crazy, and his followers are frantic. And he just stands up. He's not grabbing a bucket, he's not grabbing a rope, he faces the very source of their terror and gets ready to speak. Just 3 words. He doesn't shout, there's no struggle. It's just this simple, quiet command, spoken with absolute authority right into the heart of the chaos. Peace, be still. And the effect is instant. It's absolute. The wind doesn't just die down, it ceases. The sea doesn't just get a little smoother. The story says there was a great calm. The power in that moment is just meant to be completely astonishing. So let's just break down that transformation. The disciples' raw fear is instantly replaced with awe. The pure chaos of the storm just gives way to this impossible peace. Their doubt in that moment is confronted by this incredible demonstration of faith. And their complete helplessness is contrasted with this quiet, calm authority. So what does a 2,000-year-old story about a storm on a lake have to do with us today? Well, as it turns out, everything. Let's dig into how we can apply this lesson to the storms brewing inside of us. This is the whole point right here. The boat, that's your life. The sea, that's your circumstances, the world around you. And the storm? Well, the storm is your anxiety, your fear, your worries that feel like they're about to capsize you. This story is basically a mirror for our own struggles. So when you look at it that way, the lessons become pretty clear. First, we can acknowledge the storm. The anxiety is real, for sure, but we don't have to let it define our entire reality. The story also suggests that maybe a source of calm is already there with us, just waiting to be awakened. It's a powerful reminder that our focus and even our own internal words have the power to speak peace, be still, to our own chaotic thoughts. When you boil it all down, this story is really a message of hope. It suggests that no matter how violently the storm of anxiety is raging inside of you, a deep and powerful calm isn't just possible, it's actually accessible. It's a reminder that peace doesn't always come from the storm disappearing, but from finding that center of calm right in the middle of it. And that brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. This story offers one answer, but really, the question is for you. When you feel those waves of panic starting to rise, when the winds of worry really start to howl, what is it for you? What is the anchor that holds you steady in your storm?